Most people are waiting. Waiting for the right time, waiting for motivation, waiting for the stars to align. And because they wait, they remain weak. Life passes them by while they are standing still, trapped in hesitation. They dream of power, they dream of success, but their days are empty of action. Napoleon Hill warned that knowledge without action is wasted potential. You can read every book, watch every video, repeat every affirmation, but if you do not act daily, you will build nothing. Desire without action is only a wish. A plan without execution is only paper. A dream without movement is only fantasy. Look at the men who rise. They are not the smartest. They are not the luckiest. They are the ones who act daily. Every small step they take compounds into momentum. Every action adds weight to their character, builds confidence in their spirit, and multiplies their influence in the world. While others wait, they act. While others drift, they build. This is the promise: if you will act daily, if you will force yourself to move every single day, power will be yours. Not the power of luck, not the power of chance, but the solid, unshakable power that grows from discipline and persistence. You may not see the result tomorrow, or even next week. But the habit of daily action forges invisible chains of momentum. And soon, those chains pull opportunities, resources, and people toward you. The man who acts daily becomes magnetic. The man who acts daily becomes powerful. So hear this truth: you do not need more time, you do not need more talent, you do not need more motivation. What you need is the courage to act today, and then tomorrow, and then the day after, without excuse, without pause, without end. Act daily, and you will build power. Picture a man who wakes each morning with big dreams but no movement. He scrolls through his phone, telling himself he will begin soon. He makes plans in his head, but when the day ends, nothing has been done. His notebook is filled with lists, yet the pages remain untouched by real action. He feels the weight of ambition but never converts it into progress. The pain of inaction is slow and invisible at first. You cannot measure it in a single day. But it is there, like rust on iron, like decay in wood. Each day of inaction steals strength from the mind. Each day of delay weakens confidence. The man begins to doubt himself. He knows what to do, but he cannot make himself do it. Knowledge without action becomes poison, a reminder of his failure. He reads about success, he watches others succeed, he listens to great words. But inside, he feels smaller with each passing week. He thinks, why am I not moving? Why do I know so much, yet achieve so little? His self-respect begins to shrink. His belief in his future fades. He looks in the mirror and sees someone who talks but does not move, someone who waits but never begins. Napoleon Hill called such people drifters, men who float through life without purpose, without decision, without daily action. A drifter may have talent. A drifter may have intelligence. A drifter may even have opportunities. But without action, all of it turns to dust. The years slip away. One day he realizes that his potential has rotted into regret. Think of the pain of wasted time. 10 years of talking about starting a business, but never opening the doors. 5 years of writing notes about a book, but never finishing the first chapter. A lifetime of saying, someday I will, until someday becomes never. This is not the pain of failure. Failure at least teaches. This is the pain of stagnation, of never even trying. The body becomes weak because it does not move. The mind becomes weak because it does not act. Inaction breeds fear. Fear then breeds more inaction. It becomes a cycle, a prison built of hesitation. And the man who does not break free becomes a slave to his own excuses. This pain is not loud. It does not scream. It whispers. It hides in the silence of wasted days. But over years, it grows heavier than any burden. It suffocates dreams. It drains courage. It leaves a man alive, but without power, without pride, without purpose. Napoleon Hill warned that the world punishes inaction. Opportunities vanish. Confidence disappears. Even respect from others fades, because people sense when a man does not move. He may still speak of his goals, but others stop believing him. They see his drift. They see his hesitation. And slowly, he sees it too. This is the pain of not acting daily. It is not only the loss of success. It is the loss of self. Napoleon Hill wrote that action is the real measure of intelligence. He saw through the illusions that most men live under. They confuse knowing with doing, dreaming with building, talking with moving. But Hill understood that the only true test of intelligence is the ability to act. To think without acting is to pretend. To learn without applying is to waste. To desire without moving is to drift. Knowledge is not power. It is only potential power. A man may carry libraries inside his mind, but if he takes no action, all of that knowledge sits dormant, useless, heavy like stones. Hill warned that too many men become intoxicated by the idea of knowing, they collect information, they memorize strategies, they analyze endlessly. Yet their lives remain unchanged, because they never bridge the gap between thought and action. Action transforms knowledge into power. When you act, even imperfectly, you convert an idea into experience. That experience creates learning that no book can teach. You gain confidence, you gain feedback, you gain strength. Every act, no matter how small, is a spark that fuels momentum. And momentum is the true secret of power. It compounds, it multiplies, it creates a force greater than the effort you invest. Hill observed that successful men all share one trait, decisiveness. They make decisions quickly, and they act upon them without delay. They do not waste time questioning every step. They understand that power comes from motion, not from perfection. By acting, they discover what works. By moving, they learn how to move better. By committing, they gain strength that hesitation can never create. Think of a man who wishes to build a business. He may spend years studying, planning, waiting for the perfect moment. But another man, with less knowledge but greater courage, begins today. He learns by doing. He fails, but he adjusts. He acts again, and his action builds relationships, skills, and influence. Soon, the second man stands with power, while the first man is still waiting. Hill insisted that riches, influence, and authority are attracted not to thinkers alone, but to thinkers who act. Wealth is magnetized by movement. Power respects decision. Life rewards those who dare to step forward, even when they are uncertain. The man who acts gains clarity. The man who hesitates gains nothing. Action is discipline in motion. To act daily is to discipline the mind to obey, to bend desire into execution. Hill believed this discipline was the foundation of every great achievement. Without daily action, no goal can be reached. With daily action, even impossible goals become inevitable. Remember this, the world does not remember what you planned. It remembers what you built. The world does not reward what you dreamed. It rewards what you did. And the strength of a man is measured not by what he intended, but by what he acted upon. So hear Hill's principle: action is the bridge between thought and power, between desire and destiny. To act daily is to build a life of authority, influence, and success. Without action, you drift. With action, you rise. There are two roads a man can walk: the drifting path of hesitation, or the narrow path of daily action. One leads to weakness, the other to power. One ends in regret, the other in mastery. Napoleon Hill called the first man a drifter, a soul who allows life to push him, who waits for conditions, who talks more than he moves. The drifter lives in plans and excuses. He tells himself he will begin tomorrow, when he feels ready, when he has more knowledge, when the world gives him a sign. But tomorrow never comes. Days pass, then months, then years. His life becomes a long story of almost. Almost started. Almost ready. Almost successful. He spends his energy speaking of what he will do, yet never earns the strength that comes only from action. The drifter is easy to recognize. He is always busy, but never building. He is full of talk, but empty of results. He blames the economy, the time, his family, his fears. He looks for external permission before moving, and so he never truly moves. He collects ideas like a miser hoarding coins, but never spends them in the marketplace of action. His potential rots inside him, unseen and unused. Now look at the man who acts daily. He is not flawless. He is not perfect. But he is in motion. While the drifter plans, he is building. While the drifter waits, he is moving. His days may be small, but his steps are steady. And steady steps carve mountains. Each act deposits confidence into his soul. Each decision sharpens his will. Slowly, he becomes powerful, not because he knows everything, but because he does something every day. The difference between these two men grows invisible at first, then obvious, then undeniable. At the beginning, they look alike. Both have ideas, both have desire, both have ambition. But a year later, the man of daily action has habits, results, and power. The drifter has only more excuses, more plans, more talk. 5 years later, the man of action is unrecognizable, wealthier, stronger, respected. The drifter is unchanged, still waiting for the right time. Napoleon Hill taught that drifting is the greatest enemy of success. It destroys initiative, it robs courage, it breeds fear. A drifter loses not only opportunity but his own belief in himself. The world does not trust a man who drifts, because everyone can see his weakness. But the man who acts daily commands respect. People follow him because he leads with movement, not with words. The wrong path, the drifting path, always feels easier in the beginning. It feels safe to delay, to wait for clarity, to avoid mistakes. But in truth, it is the most dangerous path of all. For while you wait, life moves. Opportunities vanish. Confidence shrinks. Years disappear. And you wake up powerless, wondering where your strength went. Do not be deceived. The drifting path is not rest. It is slow death. The only way to power is the daily path of action. The man who walks it will stumble, but he will rise stronger. The man who drifts will never rise, because he never moves. Power is not built in one great leap. It is built in the steady rhythm of daily action. Napoleon Hill taught that discipline in small, consistent steps creates momentum that compounds into strength. The mechanism is simple but unstoppable. Action, experience, confidence, influence, power. Think of action as the first gear in a machine. One turn may feel small, but it sets the other gears in motion. Every time you act, you generate experience. Experience teaches you what works and what does not. From experience comes confidence, the knowledge that you can handle challenges because you have already faced them. Confidence then gives you influence, because others see your certainty and follow it. Influence, in time, becomes power. And it all begins with the first gear, daily action. Consider the farmer. He does not harvest in one day. He plants seeds daily. Each seed looks insignificant, almost invisible in the soil. But time and repetition transform those seeds into a harvest that can feed a nation. Daily action is planting. Power is the harvest. The man who refuses to plant daily can never expect to reap power in the future. Or picture a blacksmith. Each strike of his hammer looks small, almost meaningless. But strike after strike, day after day, the metal bends, shapes, and transforms. His power is not in one mighty swing, but in the repeated rhythm of disciplined action. So it is with your life. Every day you act, you strike the metal of your destiny. Every day you shape yourself into a man of power. Napoleon Hill insisted that drifting weakens because it breaks this chain. When you delay, you interrupt the mechanism. No action means no experience. No experience means no confidence. No confidence means no influence. And without influence, there can be no power. Inaction is not neutral, it dismantles the entire system. Daily action, however, strengthens itself. The more you act, the easier it becomes to act again. Each movement fuels the next. This is the compounding effect. Small acts gather momentum, like a snowball rolling down a mountain. At first, it is tiny and fragile. But as it rolls, it grows, and soon it becomes unstoppable. Your daily actions create a momentum that nothing outside you can resist. Think also of energy. A man who does not act leaks energy. His thoughts circle endlessly, consuming him. But when he acts, energy is released. Action clears the mind, sharpens focus, and fuels motivation. He'll observe that action itself creates the very feeling men wait for. You do not wait for power, you generate it through the act. The mechanism is clear. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait for inspiration. Begin daily, and let the mechanism of action carry you forward. Strike, plant, move, decide. Each small act plugs into the great chain of momentum. And as the chain grows, it lifts you into influence, into authority, into power. This is the secret that separates those who dream from those who rule. The dreamer thinks power will come in one great moment. The man of discipline knows power is built in daily steps. 1 act becomes 10. 10 acts become 100. 100 acts become a life that commands respect. The mechanism of power is not hidden. It is before you, waiting. All that is required is that you act today, and then tomorrow, and then again. Each act strengthens the chain. Each link adds to your strength. And in time, the man who acted daily will hold power that the drifter can never touch. Napoleon Hill's wisdom is not meant to stay in books. It is meant to move your hands, your feet, your mind into daily rhythm. Power is not theory, it is practice. To build it, you must have a system. Here are 5 daily actions you can begin now. Each one is small enough to do today, yet powerful enough to transform your future when repeated without fail. Step 1, write your aim each morning. Every day begins with clarity or with drift. If you do not decide your aim, the world will decide it for you. Hill taught that definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. Each morning, write your chief aim on paper. Do not type it, write it by hand. The act engraves it into your mind. This small ritual forces you to remember what you are building, so your thoughts cannot scatter. Writing your aim daily is like setting the compass before a journey. You know your direction before you take a single step. Step 2, take 1 concrete action before noon. Most men waste the first half of the day in delay. They tell themselves they will begin later, when energy is higher or conditions are better. But Hill warned that delay is the habit of drifters. Break this pattern by commanding yourself to act before noon. Choose 1 meaningful step connected to your goal, make the call, write the page, train your body, invest the hour. Action before noon creates momentum that carries you through the day. It tells your mind, I move first. I do not wait. Step 3, anchor your action in time. Discipline thrives on rhythm. If you leave action to chance, chance will steal it. Fix a specific time each day for your chosen act, and guard it as sacred. It may be 30 minutes in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, or both. What matters is that it is fixed. This transforms action from a wish into a law. The body learns the rhythm. The mind obeys the clock. Soon, action becomes automatic, not because you feel inspired, but because it is who you are. Step 4, track and measure. He'll emphasize that what is measured improves. Each night, review your actions. Write down what you did, how long you did it, and what it produced. This is not busy work, it is accountability. You cannot lie to paper. If you acted, the record shows it. If you drifted, the record shows that too. Over time, these pages become a mirror of your character. When you see progress measured, you feel strength growing. When you see weakness exposed, you feel the urge to correct it. Tracking is the lever that lifts you from drifting into discipline. Step 5, nightly reflection and reset. The day is not complete until it is sealed. Each evening, take 10 minutes to reflect. Ask, what did I do? What did I avoid? Where did I drift? Where did I act? Do not condemn yourself, observe with honesty. Then reset by choosing the first action for tomorrow. This closes the day with clarity and opens the next with direction. Reflection at night is like sharpening a blade, it ensures that each tomorrow cuts sharper, cleaner, stronger. These 5 steps are not complicated. They are simple, but simplicity is power when repeated daily. A man who writes his aim each morning, acts before noon, anchors his rhythm, tracks his results, and reflects each night is no longer a drifter. He is an architect of his own strength. Remember, discipline is not built in grand gestures. It is built in these daily strokes. Do them for a week, and you will feel progress. Do them for a month, and you will feel momentum. Do them for a year, and you will not recognize yourself, you will be a man of power. Every man who chooses the path of daily action soon meets resistance. Napoleon Hill warned that the greatest battles are fought not in the streets but in the mind. The enemy is not outside, it is within. To build power, you must face the four great resistances: procrastination, fatigue, doubt, and distraction. And for each, there is a counter. 1. Resistance, procrastination. This is the first thief. It whispers, not now. Later. Tomorrow. Procrastination feels safe because it avoids discomfort. But every delay feeds weakness. Hill wrote that procrastination is the murderer of opportunity, the silent killer of dreams. Counter, use the micro-action rule. When your mind says later, command your body to move for 5 minutes only. Write one sentence, make one call, lift for 5 minutes. Once you begin, momentum breaks the chain. Action creates energy, and energy destroys procrastination. 2. Resistance, fatigue. Your body grows tired. Your mind feels heavy. You tell yourself, I will act when I rest. But Hill knew fatigue is often an excuse, not a fact. Action itself can renew energy. The man who lies down to rest often grows weaker. The man who moves often finds strength returning. Counter, build rituals that energize. Stand tall before you act. Breathe deeply. Play music that stirs your spirit. Begin with small motions, stretch, walk, move, and then strike your task. Fatigue is a fog, motion is wind. Move, and the fog lifts. 3. Resistance, doubt. The mind questions, what if I fail? What if I am not ready? Doubt paralyzes by magnifying fear. It convinces you that doing nothing is safer. But Hill declared that indecision and doubt are the twin thieves of power. They steal the very will to try. Counter, decide quickly, act immediately, adjust later. When doubt attacks, shorten the gap between thought and action. Speak out loud, I choose. I move. Confidence is built not by waiting for proof, but by acting without it. The antidote to doubt is decision. 4. Resistance, distraction. The modern world is a storm of noise. Messages, screens, interruptions, each one fractures focus. Hill warned that a scattered mind cannot attract wealth, for wealth is magnetized only by concentration. Counter, design your environment. Remove temptation before it tempts. Silence notifications, clear your workspace, set boundaries. Create a ritual space where only action happens. When the environment supports you, willpower is preserved. A man who engineers his surroundings engineers his destiny. The greater truth. Resistance never disappears. It reappears daily. But this is not failure, it is training. Each time you face resistance and act, you grow stronger. Procrastination will whisper, but your action will roar louder. Fatigue will press down, but your rituals will lift you. Doubt will question, but your decision will silence it. Distraction will call, but your discipline will hold the line. Napoleon Hill taught that every obstacle contains its own seed of advantage. Resistance is the weight that builds your muscle of discipline. Without it, there is no strength. With it, and through it, you rise into power. Napoleon Hill warned that drifting is broken only by rhythm. A man who acts once is inspired, but a man who acts daily is unstoppable. To transform discipline into power, you must train your mind and body in cycles. Here is a 30-day plan, a 4-week path to shift from drifting into daily command. Week 1, ignite the habit. The first week is about breaking resistance. Do not aim for perfection, aim for movement. Each morning, write your definite purpose. Each day, take one concrete step before noon. Keep it small. Call one person, write one page, move your body for 15 minutes. The goal is not the size of the act, but the consistency of the strike. By the end of 7 days, your mind learns, I act daily. No excuses. Week 2, anchor the rhythm. Now the goal is stability. Fix a time each day as your action hour. Guard it. Make it sacred. It may be early morning before the world wakes, or evening when distractions fade. Train yourself to show up at the same time, no matter what. This transforms action from a choice into a law. By the end of week 2, your body will expect to act. Discipline becomes less a fight and more a rhythm. Week 3, raise the standard. With rhythm built, it is time to grow. Increase the weight of your action. If you wrote 1 page, write 3. If you trained 15 minutes, train 30. If you made 1 call, make 5. Hill taught that strength comes not from comfort, but from stretch. Push yourself beyond the level of week 1. Each act expands your belief. Each expansion builds momentum. By the end of week 3, you will feel power awakening inside you. Week 4, cement the identity. The final week is about transformation. By now, daily action is not only what you do, it is who you are. Guard this identity. Each night, reflect on your progress. See how far you have come. Celebrate the rhythm, the discipline, the victories. Then declare to yourself, I am a man of action. I act daily. I build power. This declaration seals the habit into your character. By the end of 30 days, drifting is broken. You have forged the identity of power. The outcome. At the end of this plan, you will not be perfect, but you will be unrecognizable compared to the drifter you once were. You will have 30 victories, 30 deposits of confidence, 30 proofs that you are a man of discipline. Hill's wisdom will no longer be theory, it will be flesh in your life. And from this base, you can continue building, 30 days at a time, until power is your permanent state. Power is not built in a single act but in the rhythm of daily action, each strike, each step, each decision compounding into unstoppable strength. Knowledge, talent, and dreams are wasted without discipline, but the man who acts daily transforms small movements into confidence, influence, and authority. To escape drifting and to rise into power, you must live this truth: act today, act tomorrow, act every day. Discipline is the seed, daily action is the soil, and power is the harvest. Repeat these words aloud, let them enter your mind, and seal them into your spirit. I act daily, no matter how I feel. Each action I take builds my power. Discipline is my law, and action is my proof. I refuse to drift, I am a man of daily action and rising strength. Say them in the morning to ignite your day. Say them at night to close with victory. With each repetition, the words become identity, and identity becomes destiny. If this message struck you, do not let it fade, act now. Napoleon Hill taught that drifting begins when a man hears truth, nods in agreement, and then does nothing. Break that pattern today. Here is your challenge: write 1 word in the comments, daily action. That word is your declaration. It is your proof that you choose discipline over drift. When you type it, you do more than comment, you set your mind in motion. And if you are serious about building power, subscribe now. This channel is your training ground, your daily reminder, your ally in discipline. Each video carries a principle that can break hesitation and build wealth, but only if you return, only if you stay. Comment. Subscribe. Act. Begin your climb today. Discipline built through daily action gives you strength, but there is still one enemy standing in your way: fear. Fear whispers delay. Fear magnifies risk. Fear paralyzes the man who could win. Napoleon Hill warned that fear is the greatest thief of success, because it kills dreams before they even begin. In the next episode, you will learn how to kill fear before it kills your future. You will see how decisive courage, rooted in discipline, breaks chains and creates freedom. Stay ready. Subscribe now. And when the next lesson drops, kill fear to create success, Napoleon Hill be here, because your destiny depends on it.